What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Trading Learning 101. Today's video, I'm going to show you how a day trader thinks when breaking down a stock, drawing support and resistance lines, why it's important to have patience and trust in your lines when you draw them. Let's jump into it. Alright, so I'm going to do this really fast to show you guys how I draw my support and resistance lines and how these charts conform to support and resistance lines. When drawing your support and resistance lines, there's nothing fancy about it. It's like an art form, and you gotta think of the psychology when drawing these support and resistance lines. Every single trader out there, 90% of traders are doing the exact same thing that you are doing when drawing your lines. So when you have majority of the crowd doing the exact same thing you're doing, they're gonna buy and sell at these lines. And that's why these lines just conform to all these charts, and not only in just one time frame. They conform to 1-minute charts, 2-minute charts, 3-minute charts, 5-minute charts, 10-minute charts, 15-minute charts, 30-minute charts, 60, 65-minute charts, because there are so many traders out there that trade on multiple different time frames. You have traders that just trade 10-minute time frames. You have traders that just trade 5-minute time frames. And when you put it all together, it really makes sense. And that's why I preach in my videos, always draw support and resistance lines and trust in your support and resistance lines. You don't need to get fancy with it. This isn't a science, like I said, it's just an art. And are these stocks gonna confine to the support and resistance lines every single time? No, they're not perfect, but majority of the time they do work. So what you do at the beginning of the day here is you would plot out pre-market high, which is right here, and then when the stock comes down, plot out a support line right there. So you see it's kind of like in this range right here from 2 up to 275 almost, and then it breaks out to the upside, and then it forms a new high up here. You could draw a line simply straight across like that. Stock comes down, finds support right in this area right here, bounces off of that, goes up a little bit, starts bouncing off the VWAP, breaks down below the VWAP, then breaks down below the support line right here, and look at right where she bounced right here at this support right here, old resistance, pre-market high. Sure enough, she bounces right off that, comes right back up to the old resistance support right here, and even the VWAP bounces off the VWAP, comes right back down, bounces off this support, bounces right back up to the VWAP, bounces back down. She got tighter and tighter, as well, as you can see too. You could draw a trend line on that, and that's an ascending wedge right there is what we call it. And she got tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter, and then she finally popped up above this resistance line here, and she ran right up almost to this resistance line from back here, and then she retraces and comes back down, and what do you know, she bounces pretty much right off the VWAP and this old resistance, and she's now holding as support. And then she gets a nice little bounce up, starts to go sideways, starts to get momentum, and look at that, she runs right up to this resistance where she's been running up to right here, kind of right here, and right here, and then she comes right back down, and what do you know, she bounces right off that old support line and runs right back up into after hours up to this resistance line, and then she breaks up above it. After hours, she confirmed it right there, that old resistance is the new support, and she just starts running up right here. That's the first day of doing technical analysis and drawing your support and resistance lines. Just practice doing this every single day. You'll get better and better and better and better. And not only doing it on the 3-minute, look at multiple time frames like I've said. The 5-minute, the 10-minute, the 15-minute, draw your lines and start adding your lines up. Where are you seeing prices of interest? If you look at the 15-minute here, you can clearly see that 325 was a big resistance on this. Bottomed out right here, but then it started to form higher lows, forming an ascending wedge, getting tighter and tighter and tighter. Then we get this huge gap up, price sells down, and she almost bounced right off this old resistance right here for a nice pop up. And then you can also draw connecting all the lower highs on this. And then once any type of momentum would come into this, if she was to break above this line right here, you'd be looking for a nice momentum pop to the upside. And then if she pulls back down, you'd be looking for her to bounce off this old trend line right here to hold as support for another potential bounce up. And like I said, the only way to get better at this is to practice and practice. Put your screen time in. You start to see this stuff over and over and over again. So the next day here, we get a pre-market high. She kind of looked like she just faded off though the whole day. What you can see here is if you were to draw your trend lines all of the previous day and use this previous day here as a guide, if you were to connect the resistance lines of where she kept hitting right here, look at where this stock bounced at. When she popped up and sold off down, she bounced right off of this old big resistance right here. And from 350, she had a nice pop up to 450. $1 profit right there. Just following your support and resistance lines, drawing them and trusting in your lines. That was a great opportunity right here, like I said. But I just wanted to make a quick video for you guys to show you the basics of support and resistance and trend lines and how important it is to look at multiple time frames when analyzing a stock and just connecting the dots. See what the story of the stock is telling you. Trading psychology is huge when it comes to day trading and trading in general. And psychology is really, really big in my opinion. And when you practice and practice and practice and brush up and study every weekend, every day, just grind it out. All that hard work will pay off in the end. You just got to stick with it and keep at it. Like I've said before, when drawing these trend lines and support and resistance lines, never draw them thinking that they're going to work 100% of the time. Do they work majority of the time? Yes. There's like a 75-80% probability that these lines are going to work, because other traders, like I've said, are doing the exact same thing. But once they break through these lines, then you always look for that line to be the next resistance or support level. Like I've said, old resistance becomes support, old resistance or old support becomes resistance. It's like everything goes in reverse when a stock breaks through a level. And the more times a stock test a level of interest, a price area of interest, the stronger that price area is going to be. Like this 350 area right here, when it tested it to break out and it couldn't, right here, right here, right here, and right here. Sure enough, we got this exaggerated big pop up right here, and then when she sold down, she bounced right off that area for a great 350 up to 470, $1.25 profit opportunity right there. And the only way you would have been able to catch something like this is, like I said, drawing your lines from the previous day and using those lines as a guide for the next day and even in the future. But alright, that's going to be it for this video, guys. Until next time, have that patience, have that discipline, and study, study, study. Alright, later.